Rise and reach for the stars, wild ones. It's Bernadette. I'm here with your Zodiac Signs Tarot reading for February 2021. It is the month of love, and you might feel like that, or you might feel like that. Either way, woo, y'all, woo-hoo, February is a big month. Now, the card and the spirit animal that have shown up for you all today in this monthly tarot reading is the Hawk and the Ace of Swords. That's big goings on. That's some living large. And when I take a look at all the planetary stuff that's going on, and then this particular card and what all the symbolism of the spirit animal and of the month mean, it really does tie all the way back into love. But it can be romantic love, it can be familial love, it can be love for friends, for your business, for your animales. It can be love for yourself. That would be the greatest hope, right? So the prevailing theme this month really is about seeking a higher truth and gaining wisdom when you reach a new perspective. So that can be a really thrilling time. You got you're like a hawk. You're like looking at everything that's going on. It's the thrill of the hunt. And then you get there and you're like, oh, I get it now. And that's so exciting. And as the Ace of Swords reminds us, it's time to cut away the clutter. It's time to cut away the things that don't add to, and since the theme this month is love, right? Things that are not adding to the love that you want to have in your life, get rid of it. I mean, get rid of it. It's just that simple. And you've got the energy and the power of the Ace of Swords, not just any sword, mind you, the Ace of Swords. When we take a look at the traditional meanings of the Ace of Swords from the Rider-Waite Tarot, what you see in that card is a hand coming out of the sky, in clouds, and that's like the hand of God, gifting you this like laurel crown. It's adorned with laurel, and it's this whole winner's. I'm like this crazy energetic power. I'm associated with the element of air, which is the intellect. So anything that you are looking to discover about love, you're going to discover it. And I really think you're going to discover it even in spite of yourself. People that will kind of not poo-poo this reading, but be like, ugh, I cannot do love this month. I cannot have that subject of any kind on my plate. It's going to happen in spite of itself. So again, by being in a relationship with Hawk energy, it just gives you this natural ability to seek the higher truths. Now, listen, just from planetary movement and all that kind of thing, February is going to be a crazy dynamic month. You've got Venus, Mercury, and the Sun. That's going to be in Aquarius. And that is the sign of the unpredictable and untamable rebel. And it's also that this aligns with the Ace of Swords because it represents progress and innovation and epiphanies. And there's going to be a breakthrough of some kind. And like I just said before, it may be in spite of yourself, right? And you might expect some sudden changes, but they'll all be really for the great. So Mercury's going to go retrograde, going direct on the 20th, and in the middle of the month brings like 10 squares between Uranus, Taurus, and Saturn, or Uranus and Taurus and Saturn and Aquarius. But by the end of the month, particularly the 26th and 28th, the energy is going to shift to be more inviting, more open, with lots of prosperous opportunities. And when we talk about prosperous opportunities and we kind of talk about the things that are going on, I think between everything that's going on out in the stars and the card that, that spirit animals wanted me to bring forth, and the spirit animal and the tarot card, I think this is about taking risks with love, taking not risks so much as chances. So anything that you have been hesitant to pursue or understand or just get clarity on that has to do with love of any kind, this is going to be the month to do that. Remember, February is the second month, and the number 2, right? In numerology, the number 2 is about perfect harmony. It's about pairings. It's about relationship. And so with another person or another thing or another, you get it. So maybe it could be very helpful to you for this February to, no matter what zodiac sign you are, to absolutely, definitely be willing and open to take chances as regards love. Most recently, man, I did a reading for somebody, And God, they're so miserable in their job and in their personal life. They're just so unhappy. But they're terrified to make the changes, even one little step at a time, one little step at a time, because they're not seeing the big picture. They're only seeing it minute by moment, by minute, by moment, and then perseverating on each little moment and minute and beat. And they're just, all of this has added up and added up. And even I was like, ugh, okay, listen, I got to take a breath. You know, I've stepped into your energy and I just feel weighted down with all of this minutia. And it really is minutia, not diminishing this person's experience in any way, but it's just, there's no goal, there's no focus, there's no nothing. It's just like this, like if you saw a hawk doing this and this and this, never ending, never ending, never ending, never ending, you'd be like, what's wrong with that hawk? And so for this person, it was a really big deal for them to step back and go, gosh, that is what I've been doing. This has been going on for a couple of years. I need to like put the brakes on and really seek, what is the truth of this matter? What is the truth of this matter? What is the truth of this matter? Exactly. So a lot of truths are going to be coming your way. Some you may not like, some that overall, if I were going to be a betting person, I got to play the lotto today. And if I were a betting person, I bet 98% of it is going to be beyond your wildest expectations, because when the Ace of Swords is upright, that's just like, man, that's a gift from God. That's God's hand coming out of the sky saying, here you go. You know, here, I'm helping a brother and a sister out, right? Okay. So moving on to the rest of the month, you've got Venus entering Pisces on the 20th, and then the 28th brings a grand trine in Earth, and that can solidify those prospects for abundance. It also can soften some of the rough edges that might have gone earlier this month, right? The full moon on the 27th is going to be in the sign of Virgo. That's going to attempt to bring stability and regularity to an otherwise, okay, you might call it volatile, but who doesn't like a volatile love every now and then? And an intense month. It's going to be intense. Okay, it's going to be intense. So you can see that how you wish. If you see intense as, oof, that's a little too much for me, you might stay in your hidey hole. But if intense is something that you're wanting in the world of love, right? Oh my gosh, take the chances. Just take the chances. Ask somebody out. Get on a dating website. Start a little bit at a time that business you want to do. Your art. Maybe you've wanted to be... Here's a great one. So it kills me when people won't talk to each other. It just kills me. Because the hope is that if you're in a relationship of any kind, that unless you just really don't want to be in that relationship, then isn't the point of having a conversation to work things out, to understand each other from different perspectives, and come to some kind of, thing in the middle where everybody's happy. Everybody leaves the bargaining table. They've given up some, they've gotten some, but people don't do that, man. They just take their dollies and they go home. It's crazy. This is not the month to do that. This is not the month to do that, because everything is going to be so intense. And now you've got the Ace of Swords, which is a super intense tarot card, right? You've got the Hawk, which is a super intense animal ally. In terms of animal spirit guides, it's a bird of prey. That's what it is. And so be real diligent about your communication when you start to express your likes, your dislikes, your wants, your not wants, that kind of thing. But swords is the suit of swords is so perfect for helping you cut the fluff, cut through the rhetoric, and just get right to what it is that you want, don't want, that kind of thing. Now, having said that, what I'm also hearing is, make sure that the person that you're communicating with, which could be yourself, be very clear that you want, not that you're open to. That's my other favorite. When people say, well, I'm open to hearing your perspective. Okay. We're in a relationship of some kind, right? I'm open to that. How about yes, I would love to do that. That would be an honor. It would be, I'd be so grateful if you would open up and talk about this. There's always always a way to frame something. And the reason I bring that up is when you start to look at the energies of February and you look at that divine number 2 and you want to create a balance, you want to create harmony, the words that you use this February, right? It's all up in here in the tarot reading. It's all up in here in the spirit animals. Your goal is to create harmony. And just one little word can make the hugest difference in how someone else receives what you're saying. Now, you can't be responsible for how people feel, of course, but you certainly can do your due diligence to just stop for a second and think, okay, well, if I say, sure, I'm open to that, what is that communicating? Sure, I'll toss you this bone. It could be that. It could be, yes, that's my way of communicating to you that I am open to a dialogue. But that doesn't tell the other person you want to or you would like to. People, animals, let me just say all animals, we're pretty simple. Whether humans or the rest of the animals, kind of what you see is what you get. And by speaking in very plain speak, very direct speak, it can help so many. It can, just like with the sword, it can help soften the edges of so many things. And again, remember, this is February. This is a tarot reading for all the zodiac signs, so this is applicable to you no matter what, for your individual zodiac sign, what tarot card comes up, what spirit animal comes up. Overall, the overview is about this, right? So a couple more things as we get into the towards the end of the month. It is going to be about using your intuition and your own logic and perceptions. That sounds like, God, all I'm going to be doing is thinking and my mind's going to blow up by the end of February. It really isn't. It really isn't like that. It really is such a great gift because there's going to be, again, going back to the beginning of this tarot reading, major breakthroughs, major insights, and you probably are in a place of having to make a major decision. What I would remind you that swords are not toys. Even if they're plastic, what they represent is not a toy. And so I would really caution those of you that are treating love of any kind like it's a game. This is not the month to do that, and that's going to blow right up in your face. That's not going to go well for you. And I mean that also with self-love. Like, anything that you might be going through the motions of. Maybe you're in grief and you think that you've got to take these steps to be out of grief and you're going through the motions but you don't feel it. Maybe you've got something you want to accomplish with somebody but you're just going through the motions. This is not the time to do that. Don't take a step forward until it's seated in your heart space, and you can move forward with that kind of energy, right? Okay. So finally, just talking about the hawk as a spirit totem and power animal. Remember, this might sound a little kind of scary or a little like, I don't even know if I want to go through February. I promise, by the end of February, you're going to feel so empowered and so clear with your vision. Remember, hawks see 4 to 8 times more clearly than humans do. And of course, all bird symbolism is about flying high and seeing things from above, taking the high road. But it's that kind of medicine, that kind of discernment, that kind of bringing in that clarity to our daily experiences. It lets you take a deep breath. It lets you get rid of the clutter inside. It just is so empowering to just, like that feeling when your house is finally like super clean, all the dishes are done, this is here and that's there, and you just go, oh, that energy has cleared and it's perfect and it's beautiful and it's comfy. That's February 2021. Okay, wild ones, I really hope that was helpful. Just so you know, as I throw tarot cards everywhere, I read with my own award-winning Animal Tarot and Oracle deck, so pick up your copy and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll get these readings every month and all of the other fun, fantastic, informational, shamanic, and metaphysical. Anything metaphysical, I'm your girl. So, my biggest hope for you all, certainly, is that you stay wild. But as you stay wild, never forget to reach for the stars.